Well, if you're a fan of the Museum of Nebraska Art in Kearney, then you know it's been closed for renovation for a while now.
Coming up on May 3rd, Mona will reveal its renovated historic building and its 23,000 square foot expansion. In this segment, John heads to Kearney to get a sneak peek at what the new facility looks like inside and what it's going to offer the public.
We are in Kearney and we're getting a sneak peek at the Museum of Nebraska Art. And joining me now with more on this is Andrew Donahue, and he is the executive director here. This has been under construction now for a few years. People have driven by and they're always like, when is this going to open?
Right.
And we're getting to that point.
Well, yeah, so happy to announce that May 3rd is our grand reopening. So that's the big grand reopening and ribbon cutting for the whole community. There'll be a big party that day. And when people come in, they're going to be able to see works of the original collections of the Museum of Nebraska Art that have been gathered together since our inception, since the 1970s, but then also works that have been collected through the years that help to further define what is Nebraska art. There's a big emphasis for us now specifically on a modern day working artist. So artists that choose to come and call Nebraska home or are from this area, and they choose to work here because they want to be a part of this electric energy of Nebraska art that exists today. So there's a myriad of different collections pieces that people will see, everything from modern pieces. Barbara Takanaga, recently we acquired work of hers, an artist from Omaha and from the region originally here. You'll see some of the works like Heath Jacobs Hagen, you'll see Emery Blangdon's, you'll see works from Robert Henry, some of those things that you come to expect of the Mona, but also modern working artists and installations from modern working artists, temporary shows as well that highlight artists that are working in the field today.
Andrew, what is the new layout of the building? I know originally it was a federal post office. You know, the old building is still here. Is it still being used? And then tell us maybe about the new layout.
So this project is as much a renovation as it is an expansion. So our 1911 building, which is on the State Historic Register since 1981, it has been completely restored on the interior and has been updated to be more up to standards with professional museum practices. So the original buildings of the museum are still there, and then some of the original spaces in the '93 edition have also been expanded and renovated. But then that spills over into this modern building around us here, which adds 4 new galleries to the expansion project.
Why was there a need to expand?
We have over 5,000 pieces in the collection, and so we now have spaces where the public can see where those pieces are stored in an open storage facility, or rather a visible storage facility. So people will be able to see some of the works that we do up close of restoration, of care, and preservation of Nebraska history. And we needed to expand those facilities so that we can more appropriately care for everything that's been entrusted to our safekeeping, and tell more stories and gather more stories, because the story of Nebraska art is growing.
Okay, Andrew, this is really amazing to see this museum and to get a chance to come inside here early and just to see what's happened. Thank you very much for showing us around and getting us excited about the grand opening of the museum coming up in May. Very nice, and leaders of the Museum of Nebraska Art are excited about the programming that will be happening at the museum.
Yeah, for example, there will be a community studio where people of all backgrounds can come to create art. There will be a printing press there along with pottery wheels and even a kiln. That programming is at the forefront of that new facility.